Hi, I'm Steve Thompson, President and third-generation manufacturer of Emery-Thompson batch freezers.
Hi, I'm Christi Brown, Vice President of Sales.
Wait a minute, Christi. Last week you were sales manager, yeah. And now it's Vice President of Sales and Marketing.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Very good. Emery-Thompson continues to grow on our 117 years so far. Who wants to go first?
Your choice.
Okay, I'll go. My first question is the incredible shrinking ice cream. Victor called me up last week on the phone and said, I make my ice cream in the Emery-Thompson machine and I'm running it at full air content homemade ice cream on the infinite overrun control setting. And I put it in the freezer. I have a chest freezer from Home Depot that I've got set at 10 or 15 below zero. And when I come back the next morning, I've lost about 10% of my ice cream. It has actually shrunk down in the tub. What's going wrong? And it was actually a pretty simple answer. Ice cream at what we call 100% overrun is half air and half dairy. If you don't freeze it fast enough and hard enough, not in the Emery-Thompson, that work is done, but in your chest freezer, it's going to shrink a little bit because the temperature went from 10 below up to plus whatever, quite high, and then came back down again. So either you put less ice cream into the hardening cabinet so that it doesn't get overtaxed, or you graduate up to a bona fide hardening / blast freezer like Emery-Thompson sells. But for the time being, just getting going with a smaller Emery-Thompson, use the hardening cabinet. Just don't overfill it. Don't overfill it. Don't put in more than 1/3 today, 1/3 tomorrow, and 1/3 the next day, and then you won't have the honey, I shrunk the kids. Your turn.
Okay. I had a customer email me. She wanted me to ask this question on the video. She asked, should her machine stay plugged in all day long, 24/7, even after the season is over? No. Reason is after you're done for the day, I would suggest unplugging it at the end of the day when you're done on any machine that you have, or even just turning it off at the box. There could be a storm, there could be brownouts, there could be lightning, you never know, and always unplugging them is always a safe choice, keeping it safe.
Let's see, I got asked by Gary about a grease trap. A grease trap is something that goes into a restaurant, like a hot dog place, anywhere that's serving food and making French fries or grease in other ways. They don't want that grease going into the sewer system for the city, or even into your own septic tank. You don't want to have it. So they want you to put in this thing, a grease trap. They have in their mind a $3,000 to $10,000 grease trap because they think you're in fast food business and pouring a lot of grease down the drain. The grease that we have is dairy. It's milk, cream, sugar, skim milk is what ice cream is. And they're concerned about the dairy product going down the drain. They say, we want you to put in a $3,000 grease trap. You tell them and explain that you're only going to be putting maybe a pint or two of dairy down the drain in the rinse water from the machine on a daily basis, and you only need a $300 grease trap. So you can't win the argument with them, but you can reduce the price of what you're going to have to put in your store.
Okay. Well, I'm going to do my last two all at once because they go together.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay. So TJ had two questions, and they go together, and they're about the 24-quart center shaft. So this is a 24-quart center shaft, and he wanted to know how often they should be replaced for your O-rings. Each center shaft has two little grooves with two little O-rings, and they both must be on there at all times. I can't tell you how many times somebody goes, I don't have one of those. Like, yes, you do. No, I don't. Yes, you do. Anyway, so these two O-rings is what's preventing your ice cream from leaking out the back. Keeping up with the maintenance on these, and if you're running about 15 hours a week, then we suggest you replace them at least every year religiously. If you're running in the higher production, about 45 hours a week, then you need to replace them a lot more often, about 3 to 6 months. Believe it or not, this little guy and these little two O-rings take the most beating of your machine because it's what's turning your dasher. And the other part of his question was, how much ice cream are you expected to have drain out the back into the tube onto the floor? None. None if you keep up with changing these. Always stay up on your maintenance, your springs and your O-rings. So that's my two.
Very good. From a technical standpoint, that shaft and everything else we made is made to military specifications and also aircraft specifications. So it is a finely tuned piece of machinery, and with those O-rings on there and in good shape, it's not going to leak. Just period.
Nope.
It's not going to leak. So if you see leakage coming down onto the floor, we have a little chute on the bigger machines, and the idea was that you see a drip on the floor, and then you call us and say what's going on. And then Christi tells you it's the O-rings.
It's the O-rings. Oh, and another thing too, don't go buy these at Home Depot or Lowe's. These are food grade. These are not basic average O-rings. And that's it for me. So it's all you now.
Okay.
One man show.
Let me get here. So I'm going to recap something that Christi and I did this week. We have a class here that is for people who are looking to get into the ice cream business. Not already in it, but looking to get into it. And we do it about every other month throughout the year. It's a one-day course, and we charge for it. And we try to do innovative new things. Christi has a machine at home. Even I don't have a machine at home, but Christi's got one. And she's coming up with some really fantastic new flavors. I thought, well, I've got to come up with a fantastic new flavor. So I made what I call an ice cream Italian ice. It's Italian ice, but it's using ice cream flavors like mint chip, Oreo cookie, anything that can be made in ice cream can be done in Italian ice. So I made, for the first time, mint chocolate chip Italian ice.
Ugh.
Yeah, it was horrible. It was beyond horrible. It was too green, and a little bit of the product splashed on Christi, and so her face was green and her hands were green. The taste was, I used too much extract. It was overly powerful. It was just a disaster. It's right down there with the Sharknado Italian ice that was breaking people's teeth.
It was frozen mouthwash.
Yeah, Christi came out and said, I won't have to use mouthwash again for 6 months.
No.
So it's not to tell you this horror story. It's to tell you or to advise you, keep on trying. Keep on testing. The next time I make it, I will do it more mathematically instead of tie-dye Jeff with a little bit here and a little bit there. I'll measure everything carefully to get my precise formula. And then it'll be great. So the point of this little bit is keep testing, keep trying, have fun, make mistakes. Just because you make a bad ice cream doesn't mean you should give up on that flavor if it's truly a great flavor. So keep at it.
Yeah, maybe for ice cream, not ices.
Well, either one, but yeah, mistakes are good. Mike, how much time do we have left?
A minute and a half.
A minute and a half. We have an update. I have an update. I was telling you last week about how you could go use a new way to get into Italian ices. If you already have ice cream, or if you're going into the Italian ice business on a very strict budget, and there's nothing more profitable than selling sugar water, that you have to have, hello, Sammy, you have to have a separate cabinet for your Italian ices. Ice cream is scooped at 6 degrees above zero, 6 degrees Fahrenheit. Italian ices are 10 degrees warmer, 16 degrees Fahrenheit, if you're making it the way I do, which is all natural. So that means a separate cabinet. Cabinets can be $2,500 or more. One of my customers came up with is, he said, I've been using this gadget that is like plugging in your outdoor Christmas lights. You put up your Christmas lights and you plug it into a timer and you set it for come on at dusk and go off at 1 in the morning when no one's around to bother seeing them. And this is the same concept, except it's got a little probe to it. And this goes into any freezer cabinet, just a low-priced $400 freezer. And then your freezer plugs into this. You plug it into the wall. You set it for 16 degrees. And now, instead of using a thermostat to control the temperature in your box, you're using this little device, and it's just turning the box off. No power, no refrigeration. Need refrigeration, the power comes back on. So it might have a range of, say, plus 17 down to 15. Been playing with it for a week, and so far, so good. If you want to call me about it, I can give you the name.
30 seconds.
It's called Inkbird. And I'll tell you which model. It was about $35. I can't legally endorse it because anything that we endorse is made by Emery Thompson or under specifications that we know. And I don't know the specifications of this, but people have been writing into me and saying they like it a lot. So that's about it for this week. If you want to contact our Our Vice President of Sales and Marketing, it's Christi at emerythompson.com, and Emery is E-M-E-R-Y. If you want to contact me, it's Steve at emerythompson.com, and our phone number is 718-588-7300. God willing, we'll see you next week.
God willing.
That's it.
Well,
and the
God-
creeks don't rise.
Okay, well, we'll be here next week.
We'll be here.
Bye.
Bye.